There's one thing that, Eric, that you haven't answered. At the high level, Peter has made the assertion that making, for example, cars go faster, or being able to do, I don't know, for rockets to go higher or faster, to be able to colonize Mars, as an example, are the sorts of things we're not doing, and they're less important than having good algorithmic search. Is that a fair characterization,
If you look at the improvements in power-to-weight ratio with new materials in cars, I think you'd be pretty impressed with that. There's a whole renaissance of material science going on with new smart surfaces, new, much lighter, much stronger materials, all of this being driven by American universities. There's a mini boom in America in advanced manufacturing using all these new technologies.
I often think it's worth looking at quantity, not quality, and we're not going faster. You know, the Concorde was decommissioned in 2003, and if you include low-tech airport security mechanisms, we're back to about 1960 type travel speeds today in the U.S. But let's take another area that's much, that's probably much more basic, something like agriculture. We had a green revolution in the 50s and 60s that basically doubled world food production in line with population growth. It's decelerated dramatically over the last 40 years, and that's reflected in this incredible rise in food prices that we've seen over the last decade.
Yield improvement.
I don't agree with that.
When you talk about the Arab Spring, you can say that it's evidence of Google and Twitter liberating the world through information, but what the actual facts on the ground are that food prices rose by 30 to 50% in the previous year, and you basically had people who had become, you had desperate people who had become more hungry than scared, who revolted. And then Eric goes around and says, let them eat iPhones. Or maybe not precisely that. That's not precisely what he would say, actually. But
let's just say that everything he just said is not actually true. Let's start with the food revolution. The issues of food in the globe are all related to mismanagement by governments. Many people have looked at this, and even without synthetic food and the other things that are being developed, we can feed everybody. It's just bad policies, right? And that can be fixed with better governments, more representative governments, so forth and so on. With respect to the Arab Spring, having been there and spent quite a bit of time talking to the people, these people were very courageous, and they used the tools available to them to topple these sort of bad regimes that weren't giving them what they wanted. Sure, food prices went up, but there was a long history of repression. If you go back, each of these groups had a couple of years earlier tried and had been squelched. The fact of the matter is that the dictators who were overthrown had a failure to regulate the internet. They regulated everything else.